Hello and welcome to the WhatsApp Chatbot Building webinar powered by Engati. I'm Jeremy D'Souza, your host for today, along with the wonderful Drishti Shah. Drishti, say hello to
Hi.
the folks.
Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us and making the learning series successful.
Absolutely. We also have someone very special joining us today on the show. But before we introduce you to her, let's begin with a quick introduction to Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual, no-code digital CX platform, available across 14 chat channels with 45,000 solutions deployed across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by Inc.com, TechWorld, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, the video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually.
That's right. So, Jeremy, we always address an issue and how Engati can help people solve that issue. So, what are we going to discuss today?
Drishti, today we are going to be talking about customer support and customer experience.
Okay, and well, what's new?
Well, let me answer that with a couple of quick questions, right?
Okay,
So imagine this, you're traveling to work and you're listening to some music, and because I know you love music so much, let's assume that you shelled out the money and you bought the premium membership for that.
oh my god. I just like the Queen song goes, is this the real life or is this just fantasy?
Well, as fantastic as it seems, the moment you open the app, it crashes and you're unable to log in. What's your reaction like?
Well, little high and little low happens with every application, I think. So I would do the normal. I would just clear the application and try opening it again.
True, true. But you've done that 7 times already. It's still not letting you log in.
Oh, well, this is very, very frightening. And it's time I contact someone and, get this issue sorted.
Right. So you might go to their website and navigate to customer support, and you'll probably find three options, right? You'll find WhatsApp, Facebook, and web chat. What will you choose?
Well, as I am most comfortable with WhatsApp, I would go ahead with that at first and get started. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. But let's assume there's a tiny bit of a wait involved and you want your question answered as soon as possible. You love your music, right?
Yeah.
So I'd assume that you probably would go to Facebook Messenger and web chat just to see whichever one they answer you first over, right?
Definitely, definitely. That is something I would do. Yeah.
Mhm. So when you do start getting replies, you're essentially stuck talking to three different agents who are asking you the exact same questions and forcing you to repeat yourself over three channels. How would you feel about that?
Well, I would just want to say one thing that
Mhm.
goodbye, everybody, because I've got to go and leave this app behind. And let's face the truth that I would rather listen to ads, or better thing would be I would just switch to another app because there are tons of options available today.
Absolutely. There's so many options available for literally every kind of business that retaining your customers becomes critical. And
Yes.
guess what? It's actually far more affordable to retain existing customers than it is to acquire new ones.
Exactly. And there are solutions available. And what you have to do is that you have to serve your customers right, and they will keep coming back to you. And one of such great solutions is Engati.
Of course. But before we talk about how Engati can help, I think the audience should understand how people are using it and why it's so beneficial. And that's exactly the reason why we have an expert joining us on the show today.
That's right. So, Laura Patterson is a trusted authority who is passionate about enabling companies to apply data to insights, customer centricity, and marketing performance management methods.
Absolutely. Today, Laura is at the helm of Vision Edge Marketing and is recognized as one of the pioneers in marketing performance management. She received the patent for the excellence methodology designed to connect activities and investment to business results. She published 4 books with the recent Fast Track Your Business, a customer centric approach to accelerate market growth, gaining industry acclaim. Laura serves on the Institute of Business Markets Advisory Board, and when she's not working with customers, She takes it to a running track, putters in a garden, and sweats it out at Bikram Yoga. Laura, we're really thrilled to have you on the show with us today.
Hi, Laura.
Greetings, everyone, and Engati, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to talk about one of my most passionate topics, customer experience and customer service. So I wanted to kind of start this conversation, and I would like to make it be a conversation. I'm going to hang out with everyone. So feel free to reach out to me. And before I end, I will tell you how to do that. So just want to remind all of us who may have been a while since we were in our academic careers, and if you were in business, you probably read something by Peter Drucker, who's considered the father of modern business management. And he said there is only one and purpose of business, and the purpose of business is to create a customer. So everything we're going to talk about right now is about that function or that capability. Almost every company we work with wants to grow, and I expect that that's true for all of you that are on today's program. And I know you realize this, but I just want to reiterate it, that customers are the number one source of growth. But I think what might be interesting to think about is Nick Mehta, who is the CEO of Gainsight, is quoted as saying, "The success of your business is inherently intertwined with the success of your customer." Now, pausing for a moment, I think this is a really poignant point. What he's basically saying is we must focus as business people on customer success. And that takes us right to customer experience. Jeremy was talking about keeping customers. And one of the primary reasons we all know that we want to keep a customer is that it's more cost effective to keep a customer than it is to acquire a new customer. But there's something else that's really important about keeping a customer and providing them with excellent customer service and a great customer experience. And that is when we have happy customers, they tend to create a halo effect, whether that's through word of mouth or formal reviews. When they are more loyal, they're more likely to continue to buy. They will renew their subscriptions. There's all kinds of positive reasons, both financially, almost all financially, and for your business health, to focus on keeping your customers. So customer experience has a very important role in supporting the customer buying journey. And I suspect, like many of our customers, you've done some mapping of your customer journey. But in addition to supporting the customer buying journey, it is also a critical and primary differentiator for every company. In today's world, particularly in the world of technology, there are not that many barriers to entry. So one of the most important ways we can differentiate is through customer experience. So what is customer experience? I like to think of customer experience as how your customers perceive their interactions with your company. It is the sum of all the interactions your customer has over the duration of the relationship with you. So let's talk about these interactions. There was a book written many years ago by the CEO of Scandinavian Airlines called Moments of Truth. And if you haven't read that book and you're into customer experience as much as I am, I hope you'll take a moment to read that book. Essentially, he talks about every interaction being an opportunity to create a moment of truth between the customer and your company. Moments of truth are what, over time, impact the perception that your customer has about customer experience. They're critical. And every company, doesn't matter whether you're a B2B company, a B2C company, an online company, an on-premise company, a nonprofit organization, it really doesn't matter. You need to know what to do when a moment of truth occurs and presents itself. And one of the things that's important to understand about Engati or any technology, it's only good if it helps support moments of truth and turn those into opportunities to create an exceptional customer experience. So chatbots, chat boxes, or any other form of technology, those are tools to support a moment of truth. As I wrap up this part of the conversation, I just want to remind all of us about technology, and I'm very excited to see what the Engati team is going to present today. All the tools in the world are irrelevant They really don't matter if you don't have a culture inside your organization that reflects a focus on the customer and the customer experience. It's a very proactive thing, taking care of the customer. Customer centricity is not about being reactive. It's about anticipating what the customers are going to need and then fulfilling and being ready to meet those expectations. With that, I'd like to open up the conversation and return back to Jeremy and Drishti.
Laura, that was really brilliant. And I like a lot what you mentioned about moments of truth. They're really important. Do you have any examples of really great, really interesting moments of truth that have been, in your life, in your experience?
I do. I have lots of examples, and I'll just pick one for the sake of time. And I'll pick one that with an organization that we work with. And I suspect it's something similar that many of the people online that are listening have as well. So we use an email platform. I suspect most everyone in listening has some way of sending out email for marketing campaigns or other types of customer communication. And we use a platform called Robly. We've been using them for quite a number of years. And the primary reason we moved to them from another platform had to do with a particular feature, which today, by the way, every other platform essentially has. So staying with them hasn't really been about the feature. To Drishti's point, there are so many options today for every application. If you're not happy with one, it's easy to find another. So what has kept us with Robly? It is their amazing, and I mean amazing and stellar customer support team and the way that we can interact with them. They're just truly remarkable. The people are remarkable, the service is remarkable. If we need help, there are various channels, and I think that was something you all alluded to as well. We can talk to them on the phone, but we can also quickly reach them through a chatbot and a chat box. So both. And we love being able to do that. Now, most of my folks who use this application don't really run into the same kinds of struggles I do. It seems I run into more struggles more often. So I have more interaction with these people. And I am the first to pick that little box and says customer service, customer support, answer that I am a real human being. And before I know it, I am logged in. And I know these people. After all these years, I think that's an important thing. Whether it's Melissa or Chandra or Larry or Daniel, I know these people. So I can actually say hello to them. And when I tell them who I am and what my problem is, they know who I am. They know and understand what company we're with, everything we've done. They can see everything. And they can fix things. They can fix things right then, especially things that I mess up. They can go in and they can fix them, which is really helpful. So I think that's lots and lots of examples of moments of truth. If it's a mistake that I have made as human error, that they can rectify it. If I have a question, they can give me a very quick answer. All kinds of things. They're just remarkable. And every moment of truth has made a difference, which is why I'm mentioning them today, which is my earlier point about a great customer experience provides great opportunities for word of mouth. And it also is why we have continued to stay with them. They're not the cheapest. They may not be the best, I don't know, but we haven't chosen to go look for an alternative because the customer experience is so exceptional.
Great example. Yeah. So, if the audience has any questions for Laura, we are happy to entertain.
Yeah, Laura
Yes.
would be really glad to help you out.
Yeah, I noticed something Victor said. He
Yes.
said we are selling experiences, and I think that's really true. Customer experience probably needs to be at the top of the list for every company because it is a very good point that Victor made in the chat box this morning.
Yeah. So, if there are any questions, you can shoot them in the Q&A section below if you need.
Or you can always reach out to me. They're welcome to do that. Some people are shy or it's a late for some people.
Mhm.
So you can reach out to me at laurap@visionedgemarketing.com or find me on LinkedIn under Laura Patterson or reach out to me on Twitter at Laura VEM, any of those ways. I try to be as receptive to connecting with people just like you guys are. So, Engati is a great channel. You want to tell us more about that?
Laura, we have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
Uh, the first is from Rishi. Rishi says, this is the era of bots, and he wants to know how we can integrate bots in different departments.
Uh, well, I don't know if I would say so much that it's the era of bots. It's the era of trying to find different ways to stay connected to customers. I think bots provide a way to do that, but if they are not uh, well formulated, right? If the interactions themselves from the bot are no good, they actually be worse than no bot at all. So I think that's a really important point I want to make. Having a bot, if it's not properly deployed and you haven't really thought through how it's going to be part of the customer experience, the customer life cycle, then you might actually be doing more damage than you intended. So I think
Mhm.
the most important thing is to truly understand the customer life cycle with your company and understand what in those life cycle are the primary interactions, the most common interactions, because you probably can't intercede with a bot with every interaction. So you want to think about the most common interactions and have that technology available as an option, because not every customer is going to prefer that option. They might want to pick up the phone. We had a problem, for example, yesterday regarding our hosting for our website. We didn't use the chat, which is available through GoDaddy, nor did we use any other online. We actually picked up the phone because it was important enough and it really needed quick human interaction. So I think you want to make sure that you're looking at not only the journey and the relationship and the life cycle, but not every persona wants the bot to be the primary or only touch. So you got to think about that mix and making sure that those options remain available depending on what the persona requires. I hope
Mhm.
that answered the question from Rishi.
Yes, I think that was very apt. Yeah.
Yeah. Laura, we have another one from someone in the audience who wants to know how they can create a customer-centric culture in their organization.
Oh, how to create a customer-centric culture. What a wonderful question and a big one. Okay, we probably don't have a lot of time to talk about a customer-centric culture. However, it is an underpinning or foundational element to creating good customer experiences. So if the customer is not the focus of your company, and this is the difference, I think this is really important. And I know someone talked earlier about, or maybe it was Victor, we sell experiences and we don't sell products or services anymore. But I do think it is important to ask yourself, are we a customer centric company or a product or solution or service centric company? Because those are very different. And today, if you want to have a customer centric culture, it starts with saying, what does that mean? And it means that the very first thing we're thinking about is value, customer value. What is it that customers value and how do we deliver that? And do we deliver that? So when I'm talking to customers and I start asking them questions like, when was the last time you did a customer satisfaction survey? Do you have a customer advisory board? When was the last time you reached out and just interacted with customers? Do you have any specific customer communications separate from your marketing? Things like that are indicators of the culture. So it's a very deliberate thing. You have to really look at it and say, what are we doing or could be doing that would indicate that we have a customer focus? And I think that, again, I hope that answers that question. But that's a really good place to start, is to find out whether or not you have the ingredients for being a customer centric culture. And if you don't have those ingredients, then we need to put those in place. Did that help? I hope the person who asked that was helpful.
Yeah, I think it should be, because the culture part that you were talking about is the most core element. And yeah, that's how people can get started with having a customer centric approach towards their customers.
Good. I'm glad that was helpful. Are any other questions, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think we have one more. Ankit wants to know how a
Oh,
customer centric.
yes, I saw that one from
Hmm.
Ankit, right?
Yes.
Oh, that is such a great question. Okay, customer service versus customer centric. Yes, that
Mhm.
was the question. How are they different?
Absolutely.
So, customer service is reactive. Customer centricity is proactive. If I leave you with nothing else, think about that. When do we have customer service? When there is a problem, someone picks up the phone, enters the chat box, enters the chat bot, sends an email, right? Fills out a form. These are all reactive, and we put things in place. Customer centricity encompasses potentially customer service, customer support, but so much more than that. And it's really about being proactive.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things I saw in the chat box is that um, it's a focus on customer satisfaction. Yes and no. All right. Because I can tell you that satisfied customers aren't necessarily loyal. People can be satisfied and leave you, right? So I think that you want to be careful. It may just be terminology. So that person may just be using terminology, but focusing more on customer value and value creation. That would be more likely. And I have some stories that if anyone wants to hear lots of stories, not today, but I'm happy to talk about stories of companies and customers who were satisfied but left their company, their supplier or their partner or whatever it might be. So be thinking differently, or maybe more broadly beyond customer satisfaction, and asking a question: Are you satisfied? And you get a score of 10. Doesn't mean they're loyal, right? Which is, again, people have tried to get a sense of loyalty by asking, would you buy again? Would you recommend? Is trying to get some insight into loyalty, which is, will you promote our company? Again, just because they might say they would, doesn't mean they will. And you need to remember that when you do those NPS scores, and I just want to caution people because I know a lot of people probably on this call are doing NPS scores. It isn't necessarily an indication of loyalty if you don't understand that there is a very big group of people that are in the middle zone, right? And so if they are not attending to them, and you think you have a high promoter score, because the promoter score is done by the group of people with 9s and 10s, and then the detractors, and that's how you create the score. But there's a whole bunch of people in the middle, oftentimes many more people. And if we're not paying attention to that, then we're probably missing a very important set of information.
That makes a lot of sense. Folks, we're a little short of time. Ankit, we will catch your question. We'll get it answered in a bit. But let's move on to the next part of the session, and we will make sure to answer all the other questions in the chat or at a later point in this very webinar. Drishti, do you want to take
Yes.
this forward?
Yes, definitely. So on the points that Laura talked about having a customer journey mapped and doing the moments of truth. So let's show you how Engati can help you map that customer journey, and they can have a smoother experience than the one I had with the music app. So let's get started.
Absolutely. And we can set Engati up in under 7 minutes.
That's right. So I would request all of you, if you are on your laptops, to log into app.engati.com. I will drop the link in the chat section below. You can go there and register, and you can build the app with me together. So till you guys do that, I will just start sharing my screen and show how the demo would go about. Yeah. Here's the link. You can go and navigate, log into the portal, and start building and setting up. Just like Jeremy said, it just takes 7 minutes. I'll show you how. So let's start with the first thing that we would want to do, that is setting up the complete product.
Mhm.
Here, so the first thing that I would want to enter is the product name that I have. So suppose it's my music app. I'll just want to call, say, music. And I'll add a logo of my application and also have the website URL, which currently I would want to put as maybe engati.com, and add it here. If you want, you can add a product bio for what your application does or how you're going to use the live chat, and that would be the product setup part. Going ahead, so these are the general settings that you can set up for your live chat. or the whole solution. So here you can set up the primary language for your users, the time zone your agents would be operating in, request feedback on resolution if you would like. After the agent completes their chat, if you want to know how your user experience was, so you can enable that. You can also alter messages which would be shown to the end user when they connect with the agent versus when the agents are busy. Also, you can set up maximum wait time for your end users. So, say if they are coming from your website and from your mobile application, and that is something that is very fast paced. So, in 30 seconds, if your agent does not pick that up, it will get routed to some other user, some other agent. And you can also automatically resolve your chats if they are inactive in, say, 1 day or 7 days, as you would like.
Another interesting thing is that you can actually customize the look and feel of your chat window so that it flows consistently with your branding.
That's absolutely right. So here, as you can see, this is the channel setup that we have where you can change these things. So here you can change your header color, the bubble colors that we have, the options. You can add an avatar for your own brand or for the agent who is going to have a conversation there. And you can also add pop-ups for your website. So if anybody is coming in, if you would want to have a pop-up say in 30 seconds so that the user goes and has a conversation, so you can go about doing that.
Mhm.
And also the deployment is very, very easy. All you have to do is just copy the script right from here and add it to your web page content.
Yeah. And in the next part, we'll actually show you how to set up SLAs for your team.
That's right. So here you will be able to see that you can set up the work week for all your agents that will be added or that have been added to the product. You can set up the work days, the working hours that they have. You can also set up maximum conversations an agent can take depending on which channels that the request is coming from. And similarly, you can do it for SLA first response and also set resolution SLA. Here you can add categories for your end user. So suppose the different functions of your live chat or your whole solution can be varied from having technical support to billing queries or to sales queries. So all these can be handled. So you can just have different categories and you can have agents assigned accordingly.
And when you're adding team members, you can even designate roles to them. They can be supervisors, they can be agents.
Yes. So the supervisor has the complete setup or the complete access control for all the functions that are available. You can add supervisors according to a channel that you are enabling or according to the categories that they would have to manage. And the agent can also be added in a similar way. Currently, we have added some agents. And now as we go to next, here you can review all the details that you are going to add in your application, and then you can just click on confirm.
And that did not even take you 7 minutes.
That's right.
So, Drishti, what's next?
Yeah, so well, all the things that you have configured with your solution can be seen here in the configure section. So you can alter these settings even after you have set up in the product. You can have these settings changed and the messages changed right here. Now coming to the team setup that we have, you can also set up holidays for your agents. So say after the working week that they have, apart from Saturdays and Sundays, if there are some occasions or some days where your agents will not be available, you can add such holidays from the calendar setup right here.
Mhm.
And these are the categories which are available. Here with manage, you will be able to see all the agents that have been added with the categories, the when they last logged in, the number of requests that they have, and also number of active conversations that they are going through.
And next up, we're going to show you how to make your agents' lives much easier and help them respond to your customers much faster with quick responses.
Yes, that's right. So you can just add a quick reply right here, just saying, "Hi, may I know your name?" if the user has not entered their name, say suppose. So these are some common questions, and like Jeremy said, makes the agent life very, very easy.
Yeah, you don't need to enter and type each question manually. You can just click on one of these, it'll come up in your text field. If you want to edit it, if you want to personalize it, that's completely possible. And
Yes,
this will make it very easy and much faster to communicate with your customers.
absolutely. Now coming to the next advanced routing that we have. So this routing is will overpower or will we can say override whatever you have set up with your own account or in your automate section. So say for example, currently you want that specific users or specific accounts should be having a particular category assigned. So then you can have such rule sets created. So for now, I'll just create it as R1 or say rule 1. Now here, as you can see, in these attributes which are available, if I know that this particular customer is a premium customer and they have to be assigned to a particular agent, or if I want to say it as coming from a country or speaking a particular language, then I can create rule sets accordingly and then I can assign it to a particular category which will handle those language fields. So if I want to say that if the user language is Spanish and if my say time slot 2 is available to handle all Spanish queries, so then I can create such categories and get my queries assigned.
Mhm. You
So
can
this,
even have it set so that if a customer has already conversed with one of your agents, you can send them back to the very same customer, to the very same agent. So the agent already has context about that customer. They know what the customer wants, what the customer has purchased in the past, and the customer is also comfortable talking to that agent.
absolutely. So now coming to the advanced section. So here with the automate, what you can do is you can create paths and also you can add FAQs. So if you want to configure some settings around what the matching score should be or what the entity preferences should be where you have set up your automation, you can change these configurations right here. And moving to languages. So there are 50 plus languages that are currently supported with Engati.
And we also have right to left support for languages like Arabic and Hebrew.
So you can add such multiple languages in your bot and let the user decide on which language that they want to go ahead with.
Absolutely.
So now, Jeremy, let's say that you are this company who wants to set up this chatbot plus live chat solution, right?
Mhm.
So there would be some questions that you would want pre-answered for your agents so that they don't have to go through those monotonous queries again, right?
Certainly. The first thing I'd probably want is I'd like to have my bot ask the users for their name.
Yeah, absolutely. So suppose we create such workflow right here. So this is my workflow.
Mhm.
So like Jeremy said, what I can do is I can just have them enter their name. So I can just say, please enter your name and I can name the variable as name. And I want to update the username so that when an agent comes in, they know that this is the username or this is the name of that particular end user. Right. What next, Jeremy?
Um, I'd probably also want to know whether they need help with technical support or they want help with billing, or maybe they want to know which of my offerings would suit them best.
That's fair ask. So we can just tell them to choose from some of the options that we give.
Okay.
And here we can tell them that this is for support if they have billing inquiries and so on and so forth. So
Well,
now,
that was
yeah,
pretty easy.
yes. And now, when somebody is asking me a support query, I would want to transfer it to the agent who is having the category, say IT support.
Okay,
And that would be added right here. And similarly, I would like to do the same for the billing inquiries, but just change the category to say billing and save it. And yeah, this is the basic workflow that you would need, right, Jeremy?
absolutely. You can make your workflow as extensive as you want. You can allow your bots to handle as much of the conversation as you feel like. In fact, your chatbots can handle about 80% of all your queries. You can have your chatbots handle all the repetitive, monotonous queries and send only the more complicated ones to your live agents, so that your agents can actually concentrate on complicated ones without being rushed.
That's right, that's absolutely true. And these are the nodes that are available which you can have create a conversational flow with. You can add multimedia, you can have multiple integrations inside, so you can have the data setup of where the user is coming in and also integrate with your CRMs. Okay, so now as we have created the workflow, we can go ahead with doing the deployment.
Ooh, here's the exciting part.
Yeah, so we can now start with the deployment right here. Yes.
Hey, so Engati actually allows you to deploy your chatbots and your live chat systems on 14 chat channels, including the one you're most excited about, the one you're here for, WhatsApp.
That's right.
It's a rather simple process through. Drishti, let's walk them through it.
Yes, definitely. So, as Jeremy said, it's very simple. And now I will show how quick it is. So, when you go to the WhatsApp, here you can select the provider that you want to integrate with. Currently, I'll select one. And now, as you can see, there are only 4 requirements on the Engati end to just get your bot deployed on WhatsApp. So, I've also logged into the provider portal. So, here you can go to channels, go to WhatsApp, and here are the configurations that are available. So the first requirement that we have is the phone number, which you can get right here. So you can just copy and add your phone number along with the country code. You do not have to add any special characters or any spaces when you're adding your phone number. And here you just have to edit the incoming URL. So the WhatsApp portal or the portal there understands that which bot or which solution that they have to interact with. So here you set up the incoming webhook URL, and that's the first step done, one down and 3 more to go.
Okay.
So now what we need is the API key. So here I'll just copy one API key. If there are not available, you can just click on generate API key and you can get started with that. So I've copied that. Now the next two is the SID and the client URL. The SID is actually the security identifier to understand that which is this somebody who is authorized to use this solution. So you just add the SID and paste it here. And the last part is the client URL where your messages should be going to. So you can copy this from here. Even here you have to add those SID again and messages and save. This is done.
Okay, we're golden. Now it's time for you to test your WhatsApp chatbot out.
Yes. But before we go ahead with testing, I would like to see if there are any questions around the whole setup of the application and I will go around showing how the conversation and the agent window looks. But if there are any questions around the setup of the complete live chat and chatbot solution, you can drop them in the Q&A section below, and we can get those started. Yep.
Absolutely. Here's your chance. Ask questions.
Also, there's a poll coming in. I hope you guys have answered the poll. Okay, there is one.
Not
How
from
do
you
I
though.
find out if my provider will support the integration? Yes, so there are some authorized providers available for WhatsApp, so you can sign up through that. If you come to Engati, then all you have to do is just give us the good to go for going ahead, and all this setup and the permissions will be set up via Engati only.
Someone wants to know if we have to set up multiple bots for every language they want to communicate in.
Not really. You can go ahead with multiple languages from one bot itself. You can give them options in the start, which for which language that they want to converse in, and then the bot will have the complete flow going on in that particular language. So you just have to create one bot and one solution, have multiple languages in that one, and also deploy the same solution on multiple channels.
Absolutely. You don't need to have separate bots for different languages or different channels. You can do it all with one. You just build once and deploy it everywhere in every language.
That's right. If there are any other questions, we would like to start, or we can go ahead with the demo.
Drishti, Kerat wants to know if we can set up a bot for a personal Facebook account.
Yes, definitely you can deploy it on your Facebook, but currently with Facebook, you will need a Facebook page that you want to deploy on. So Facebook page that you can create, and then you can log into your account, just 2 steps, and you will have your bot deployed.
Okay, sounds good. Are there any more questions? Anybody? Drishti,
Okay.
Suresh wants to know if there are any limits to the volume of requests that can be handled.
Currently, it depends on the plan that you are subscribing for. There is no particular limit from the Engati end on how many questions a bot can handle at a time. So there is no such barriers, and you can definitely go ahead with the volume that you would want to.
And yes, Gaurav, you can use the same chatbot on multiple platforms. Just build it once and deploy it wherever you want to deploy it. Drishti, someone wants to know if you, someone wants to know the process of handing over an interaction to a live agent.
Yes, I guess I will just show that right now, the whole demo and the analytics part of it. So I guess that would be clear when we show the demo, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. But before we go to that, I have another question, which is really important in my opinion. Someone
Hmm.
wants to know whether they can set up a WhatsApp chatbot all by themselves, or do they need to rely on anyone else? They need to maybe hire someone to get that done.
Yeah, so the thing with Engati is that it is a do it yourself solution where you would not need anybody's help, just a few documentation and the product videos that we have available. So it will be there with your disposal. All you have to do is just follow some particular steps and get started. So absolutely no help. But if you require some help via Engati, then we are always available, and you can reach out to us.
Yeah, we're always glad to help you out. We have made your life really simple. We made it a simple drag and drop solution. So it's going to be very easy for you. But if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Just reach out to us.
Yes.
Are there any other questions? Oh, and another person wants to know what's the process for getting a WhatsApp business number? How do you get it registered?
For the WhatsApp business number, all you have to do is that you need a Facebook business manager, like for your company that you want to go ahead with. That should be verified by Facebook, and then the business API configurations is something Engati can handle for you. Are there any other questions that we can?
We also have another person asking how accurate are chatbots, not just at Engati, but in general.
Accuracy in terms of, if you can elaborate more.
Also, this would be the last one, last question we're taking for now. But
Hmm.
if you have any more questions, as we said before, just feel free to drop it in the chat and we will get them answered for you.
Yes. Okay, I guess we can get started with the demo once and then.
Drishti, they want to know in terms of replies, how accurate are they? Maybe regarding the NLP and everything.
Okay, definitely. So the point is that we have our own proprietary NLP. We are not dependent on any third-party services, and so when it comes to matching, there are certain algorithms that are going behind, which not very technically I would be able to explain. But the NLP is robust enough to understand what the user's intentions are. We have entities, we have FAQs, and we also have DocuSense, which is available from our side, where all you have to do is just upload a document, and the system is smart enough to skim through the whole document and get you back with the query that you have asked.
Absolutely. Okay, so if you have any more questions, just drop it in the chat. We'll get them answered for you. But Drishti, let's go on to the next part of the demo.
Definitely, yes. So now I'll just share my screen again. How the solution would work on WhatsApp.
Mhm.
So right now what I have is this conversation. Now as an agent who is there, you just have to mark yourself as available so that the conversations coming in will you will get a notification, and also you will be able to pick that up. So now from the WhatsApp, I'll just type a hi, knowing that this is a solution that I want to talk to. As you can see here you will be able to see a browser notification, so it becomes easy for the agent to understand that there has a request that has been come in. And here I can just click on the notification and click to respond. Now as a supervisor, I also have the ability to assign conversations to my agents, but currently I will continue as my own. And now this is what the interface of the agent would look like. And now I will use a quick reply so just ask, hi, welcome, how are you doing? Some formal questions, and how can I help you? Yeah. So these are the questions that have come in. So I will just say that suppose I am the end user, just like the music app that I was going through. So I will just say I am Drishti and I am having trouble logging into the portal, logging in, right? So now, as an agent, I know that this is somebody who is having a conversation with me. And now, as I have their phone number as well, so I can just get back to them that thank you, uh, and we will send you an email shortly. So that email can be with the reset password link or just resolve that issue and get back to them. And for now, I as an end user would just say thank you. And we can, from the agent end, resolve this query for now. So now we know that the name for this particular end user was Drishti, which even the agent can update on their end. And yeah, so that would be the whole conversation. And after the conversation is done, the agent can mark it as resolved. And that would be, yeah. And this is something that the end user will be getting. If you have enabled feedback, then there will also be a question coming in whether they were satisfied with the service or not.
Mhm. So, Drishti, we're pretty good with the WhatsApp side of things right now.
Yes.
But as we mentioned in the previous example, what if it's someone who decides to reach you on Messenger and maybe on web chat too? How do we handle that? How do we stop them from having to repeat themselves multiple times?
That's right. So suppose I'm that same user who is not very patient. And now I just want to come back and try some other channel. So I think that I'll get a faster resolution from. So again, it's coming to an agent. Here, I do not know what the end user's name is or any other details. So currently, I'll just pick up this conversation. And now I'll just ask the end user saying, "Hi, welcome." And you can see how these quick replies are helping me a lot because I don't have to type everything. And I can just say, "Please help me with the issue that you are facing." That's right. And now I can also see the avatar of the agent that is having a conversation with me. So here I can just reply to the answer, the question that they have asked by quoting. I need help logging in. This is something that the user is asking. So now I know that I need some details from the end user. So I'll just go ahead and ask their name that, "Hi, please help me with your name and say phone number," because that is a unique identifier that I would require,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'll just say that this is Drishti and my phone number, something like this. And now what I can do is I can just, as an agent, see that, okay, this is Drishti who had come in, and this is the phone number, which I can update right here. And as this is a unique identifier, what we will be able to see is that if there were some conversations which we had done previously, and as you can see, here is a WhatsApp conversation currently that we did with the end user.
So yeah, we can stitch conversations together and show you the conversation history across channels so that your agents always have context. They always know what's going on, who conversed with them earlier, what they need, and your customers never have to repeat themselves.
That's right. So I'll just say that I know that they have contacted before and we'll be in touch shortly, so that the agent or the end user also knows that, okay, there are somebody, people who know about this query enough and now they are working on it and they will respond back. So that gives a sense of satisfaction to the end user that it's not haywire and nobody knows about the issue, but the agent who is working on the back end has a clear picture of where that user is coming on from as well. So also I can add notes right here and I can save these.
These notes are visible to every agent who has conversations with this user at any point in the future. And you can also tag other agents in these notes.
That's right. So if I would have added some other agents for this one, then I can tag them in the notes and they can have notifications coming in and they can check the chat as well. So that's how the merging and stitching of conversations would go about. And currently, if I haven't resolved this issue, I can just mark it as pending resolution. And after the end user gets back to me saying that they have resolved that issue, I can go ahead and close the issue. So that's about the conversation section that we have. Here in the new conversations, there will be all the new chats or incoming requests coming in. The active will be the one which you are having currently the conversation. Unassigned would be when the agents are busy with all the requests that have come in, and all conversations will be all the conversations that the user has had with the solution.
Certainly. And now if you navigate to the home section, you'll actually see statistics and insights for all of today's conversations. You'll see inbound requests by channel, inbound resolve requests by channel, requests by status, by resolution time, and a lot of other data. And
That's
if
right.
you want this data over a longer period of time, just navigate to the summary section of your dashboards. Here you can change the time period and you'll see all this data right here.
That's true.
We also have separate dashboards if you want to see data specific to your agent responses or the responses from your bots or even the channel of resolution. Rishti, would you like to walk them through that?
Yes, absolutely. So here, as Jeremy mentioned, you can have detailed statistics of all the agents that have been added with the SLA responses, resolution SLA, the requests that have been come in, and also you can have the timeline filter with the agent dashboard right here. Similarly, for bot responses, currently as the whole chat directly got routed to the live agent. So there were no conversations between the bot and the end user. But if there are some FAQs asked, so there will be statistics on questions asked versus answered and unanswered, and you will be able to see here in the graphs as well. Coming to the channels, so here you can see the number of requests that have come in. So you'll be able to see that if there were where the number of requests are coming in from more, so you can measure the volume and you can have focus on such channels more than the other. And here you can have an overview of all the data, just that it would be sorted by a date.
Okay, thank you for that walkthrough, Drishti. Folks, if you all have any questions about the platform or about anything in general, now's your time.
Yes. Also, while you
If
shoot
you
your
didn't,
questions, I'm sorry.
go ahead, Drishti, go ahead.
Yeah. So while they show their questions, there's also something which I want to show here. So as you can see in the all conversations, there were two separate conversations that came in. But here in the users, it shows that it was the same Drishti, that's me, who had come in, but the channels were different. So it actually merged the conversation. So I know that the user was one, but they came in from different channels previously. And here you can also see the conversations right here from website and also via WhatsApp.
Also, folks, if you have any questions for Laura, she is on the call. You can ask those too.
If there are any questions, we are very happy to entertain them.
I wanted to say thank you for such a great overview. That was really helpful for people who to see all the various steps and how easy it is to deploy. I think that's very valuable.
Thanks a lot, Laura.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a question from Hugo. For how long can we store these conversations? And if a customer submits a request today, will agents be able to see their interactions from 2 months ago?
Yes, so according to the plan that you have, so we have multiple tiers, and accordingly, we store information of these chats or these interactions. So, yes, storing interactions is definitely possible on the portal.
Okay. Anil, yes, it is really easy. It is really simple. We look forward to you deploying it too.
Definitely. You can always reach out to us at contact@Engati, and if you need any help, and we will be happy to help you out.
I have another question. Someone wants to know if they can use WhatsApp for their e-commerce business.
Oh, e-commerce business is currently the most booming one. As we know, it's the holiday season coming in. So definitely, if you're providing support or even sales marketing, or if you want to show some offers, then WhatsApp is the best platform that you can use for your end users. So I would recommend 10 on 10.
Someone also wants to know how the pricing structure works for WhatsApp. Drishti?
Yeah, so pricing structure for WhatsApp is we have different tiers. If you want to go ahead with Engati, then we have a separate plan. So it would be if you go ahead with Engati, all you have to do is just get your business verified, and later all the steps will be taken via Engati to get all your problems solved. So there are different tiers. You can always reach out to us on contact at Engati, and we can help you with the very detailed pricing for that. I think in the Q&A section, somebody has a question for you, Laura.
Yes, Laura, they want to know how you think the capability is demonstrated with your view of what customers expect on WhatsApp.
I think that customers don't always know what they want, but they have very high and rising expectations. And they want immediacy. I think that is one of the challenges we have today is people are not very patient. And so they're wanting it when they want help, they kind of want help now. And so I think that's one of the benefits of any tool, and I'm going to use a tool, is that it can alleviate the anxiety that a person has, because really what's happening is they are having a moment where they need something and they're having anxiety. So I think the one of the things that Drishti did, and I wanted to point out uh, as I was watching, is to acknowledge that you know who they are, that and that they have had an issue. And I think that the most important thing of any chatbot, no matter what it is, because it is not a human being, right? You can't give machines empathy, but you can give them structure to empathy. For example, I see that you've had this problem with X. Is that what you're calling about again? Or do you have or is there something else we can help you with? Is acknowledging, oh, you've had a problem. We've acknowledging, is that the problem, right? I think really the thing that will be important for any chatbot to be successful is being very thoughtful and deliberate in how would this communication go if it were a human interaction? How can we best replicate that as close as possible without suggesting that it's a human? I think it's perfectly okay to acknowledge that it's not a human, but a human is available at any time. But in the meantime, we may be able to assist you since we know that you need help now, right? I hope that's answering the question, but did that answer the question?
Drishti, Victor wants to know if we can integrate the platform with an ERP system.
Yes, so definitely we can integrate. Engati is very flexible that way. So integration with any platforms would be very, very easy. So if the customer wants to know the status of an order, so definitely Engati can do an API call to the other system which is there, and we can fetch according to the parameters that have been added, say order ID or anything of that sort. So you can pass that in a get request call and you can pull the data and send it to the user. I hope that answers your question.
Mhm.
I did see another question about, integrating with human interactions. I think that it's important to remind everyone that tools aren't meant to replace human interactions. They're meant to facilitate them, right? And to make things easier. They're meant to make the customer experience easier. Um, I'll tell you, as a person, as a customer, one of the things I hate the most is going through an AVR system, right? Automated voice system, or press 1 for this, press 5 for that, press 3 for this. Oh, now you need to wait 20 minutes. And when the person finally picks up the phone, even though along the way I put in my customer number and my name and all of that, they are clueless, right? I have to give them all of that again. The beauty of a chatbot, hopefully, is that is being captured and it is something that the agent can have so that it's not creating that frustration, because that's really frustrating. And what is the first thing the agent wants to do? Get my name, get my number, get my email. And I'm thinking, I just need help with this problem and I've been waiting for 20 minutes, right?
That's
Absolutely.
So you
right.
want to think about that. And how can you have technology make that better? So when the human being gets engaged, it's not that experience.
Yeah, it becomes seamless. Okay, folks, I think we're running a bit late. So if you have any more questions, if you have questions for Engati, you can just reach us at contact@engati.com and we will be more than happy to help you out. And if you have any questions for Laura, just reach out to her on LinkedIn. Laura, how else can they reach you?
I'm putting in the chat, if that is okay, my email.
Yes.
They are welcome to reach out to me on email. And I want to say how much I really appreciated the opportunity to be a part of the learning series that you guys are creating. I think it's awesome. Thank you for having me and allowing me an opportunity to participate.
Thank you
Thanks for
so much,
joining
Laura.
us, Laura. It was an honor.
My
And thank
pleasure.
you everyone for joining us today. This was a great session. And yeah, we'd love for you to reach out to us. We'd love to help you in any way we could.
Same here. All be well.
Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a good day, good evening, good night.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.